In the 16th and 17th century Scotland, roughly 4,000 people were accused of witchcraft. Of these, the vast majority were women.
It's not about money, it's about ideas, and it's about having the wrong ideas.
And then you have all these stereotypes about what is a good woman?
This is it, this is what we're looking for. Essentially what's happened here is an illegal killing, and they want to clean up the mess behind them so it doesn't come back to bite them.
As you cross the Forth Bridges to the north of Edinburgh, you enter the Kingdom of Fife. It's here on the muddy foreshore at Torryburn that the only confirmed burial site of an accused witch in Scotland can be found. That of Lilias AD.
Essentially what we're looking at is the outcome of a tragic story which unfolded in this village in the summer of 1704. It's the end product of essentially a village squabble. And the story transpired that after a night of revelry and drinking, this local woman, Jean Bissett, woke up the next day feeling terrible. She had a headache, she was shaking, she was ill and so on. And rather than ascribing this to a day and a half's worth of drinking, she accused local woman Lilias AD of using witchcraft to make her unwell. That accusation getting out of hand, church court being convened to examine the case, the individual accused on the basis of almost no evidence whatsoever facing these trumped up charges is taken into custody over a period of 4 weeks. She's maltreated, interrogated 6 times, and over that period she confesses to a lengthy career as a witch.
To the local church minister at the time, her body was considered spiritual toxic waste and a potential health hazard.
And that's why they've gone out to the intertidal zone, dug a pit, they've locked her in a box and they've plonked this big heavy stone on top of her, all measures to absolutely ensure that she could never rise from the grave again and come back to terrorise the living community. For the minister, the problem was simple. She was an agent of Satan, and it was universally believed at the time that Satan had the powers to reanimate those who died in his service.
The rate of executions here in Scotland was 5 times the European average, and of the accused, 85% were women. So why were women more vulnerable to accusations of witchcraft?
I love that it revolves around stereotypes. And, theologians think of women in terms of Adam and Eve is the weakest link. She's the one who disobeys God, gets everyone kicked out of Eden. So the idea is that, women, they're the people who are likely to disobey God, they're likely to listen to the devil, they're likely to think, this demonic pact sounds like a really good idea. And then there are all these stereotypes around women, which that, women want power they shouldn't have. They're not capable of handling power, but they want it. They're terribly ambitious. And then you have all these stereotypes about what is a good woman? A good woman is quiet. A good woman is demure. A good woman is caring and nurturing. Whereas if you have a bad woman and she's always causing quarrels and she's not being very caring, and that's exactly the kind of woman when the devil turns up and says, hello, do you want to have sex with me? Do you want to make a demonic pact with me? I'll give you all this power to have revenge on your neighbours who you hate. Oh, she'll take it.
They imagine the relationship between the witch and the devil as a sexual relationship. When they find a female witchcraft suspect, this person looks as if she might be a witch, they will ask about, when did you renounce your baptism? When did you make a pact with the devil? But they will also very quickly move to, and when did you have sex with the devil?
So the stereotyping of women is probably what leads to women being disproportionately accused and arrested as witches. It's a kind of moral panic thing. A woman who's seen as being, in inverted commas, uppity, not in her place, taking things which are seen as being for men, she becomes subject to an absolutely disproportionate storm of hate. And we see that today.
The broader context at the time was that during the Reformation, the church was under intense pressure to clean up society.
The global context is the sort of village witchcraft, the idea that people harm their neighbours by magic. The European context is the elite idea of the demonic witch, the witch who is in league with the devil. The 1500s and 1600s are a time of state formation. The emerging states want to claim that they are the correct authority, you should obey us, and that God is on our side. And so they have a duty to stamp out ungodliness.
So religion played a huge role in the accusation of witches.
Oh yeah, this is a religious crime. This is, if you like, an ideological crime. And it's not about money, it's about ideas. And it's about having the wrong ideas. And you have to think yourself into the mind of someone who fears their neighbour's vengeance. You know, if a man curses somebody, yeah, it's just words. But a woman curses someone, those words might have power.
As for Lilias Eadie, that we still know her story today shows how she will now be remembered. An unfortunate victim of mass hysteria and torture.
She was never convicted of witchcraft because she died before she came to trial. Did she die because of injuries inflicted under torture? We'll probably never know. But by burying her between the low tide mark and the high tide mark, that is a really edge place. You know, it's not one thing, it's not the other thing. You know, they are dropping her into a crack.